Hi, it's Rob here from MX5 number 99. We had a fantastic season 2 of the 2K Cup, and this video goes over some of the highlights from it.
So, round 1, race 1. Jarl drew the short straw and had the first race of the season. We were pretty excited to get back out on track again, and as you can see, the racing was really tight all the way from the start. Here, 3 or 4 abreast in turn 1. Real credit to the series that race after race we can have 3 and 4 cars abreast on that first corner, and I don't think there's ever been really any incidents on the first corner. Everyone manages to keep their cool, which is wicked. Unfortunately, this Celica managed to find the inside of turn 1, but as Jarl soon found out, it was pretty slippery on corner 1. At least he thinks it's just corner 1. Or maybe he just thought the whole track was a bit slippery, hard to say. Midway through the race, Jarl found number 95, the MR2, and had a really good battle with him. It kind of set the bar for the rest of the season. We seemed to be battling against the MR2s the whole time. They would have us on the straights and we would be able to catch them up in the corners, so it made for really interesting racing between the MX5 and the MR2s. Unfortunately, one problem the MR2s did have was reliability. They seemed to have issues with oil flow, especially around that last corner, and due to their lack of reliability, it meant that we could really take out the Hairdressers Cup later on in the season. Didn't mean they weren't fun to drive though, as you see number 66 there having a bit of a blast. Unfortunately though, with 1 lap to go, the temperature went off the gauge, so Jarl had to bring it in so he could release the magic smoke. It turned out it was the fan belt to the water cooling pump. So after a quick dash down to Huntley and back, we managed to get the belt changed over just in time to get out for race 2. You can actually see on my hands here during this race that I've got oil all over them. It's because we only just managed to finish fixing the car before heading out for race 2. Now this race was reverse grid, so it's quite an eventful race. There's lots going on, lots of people overtaking us as the faster cars came through in the 2-litre class. Massive kudos to number 25 there for keeping out of my way. I didn't really have much control and he manages to avoid a situation. But the whole way through, very close racing, the whole way through again, we were able to catch up on the corners a lot of the time, so just a matter of keeping pressure on the guy in front and then taking advantage when he makes a mistake. There's a pretty good example of what would happen on a straight. If we weren't far enough ahead after that last corner, we could just get cleaned up on the straight basically, which is, you know, it goes, I suppose. But again, when you came up to the corners next time round, often lock-ups, we could normally kind of claw back a pace or 2, possibly. Normally sideways, of course. So these are the faster guys coming through from the rear of the field with the reverse grid. But really close racing all the way through. It's kind of, you know, you try and hold them up as much as you can without being stupid, of course. You don't really want to get involved with the faster guys too much as they come through. They tend to do some crazy shit. Poor number 66 managed to find some Armco somehow from the grass going about 30 k's an hour. And here's the big disappointment for the day for me. Dave Rooney Tunes, getting overtaken second to last corner, or second to last straight of the actual race. So unfortunately, yeah, see how upset I am. Terrible. Unfortunately, he took the, I think it was second or third place that we were gunning for at that point. But nothing worse than losing out to Dave. Round 2 was actually not round 2 at all, but due to an administration error turned into the barbecue competitive intensive track day, which, as you can see, was wet. So no racing in this format as such, just a lot of going straight where we shouldn't have been going straight, and hoping like hell we got over the sand trap, which we did. Basically, we were leading just then because we could choose our own grid positions, and yeah, in the wet was a lot of fun. The MX5's a supercar in the wet, so that particular runoff got a lot of action during the day, but luckily there was very few, if any, incidents between cars, which was great. You can see a bit of sideways action going onto the final straight. One thing with it being wet gave us a good opportunity to try some skiddies in the MX5. Being rear wheel drive, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, tried to hone our skills on putting our foot down and dropping the clutch. Not much happened in race 2, but again, more skiddies. And the guys in number 20 there ahead of us, they're actually ex-Pro-Am drifters, so they were having a good time too. Round 3, also wet. This time round it was an event organised by the TACOC instead of the Historic Racing Club, and unfortunately they would not allow me to race, Rob, so Jarl got to drive both races in this event, and again 3 or 4 abreast going into the first corner, no worries. In this particular race there was a lot of carnage going on though, lots of cars, especially in these S's coming up. I think nearly everyone got caught out at least once. Like Kent Dalziel. But again, wet conditions, very slippery, especially turn 10. Just seems that Jal couldn't quite get it right around turn 10. Either that or he was having too much fun doing it sideways. I mean, given that we're just one car and that was the 4th spin at those S's. Oh, again, turn 10. It's Kent's 2nd. And number 95, the car which Jarl had a battle with in race 1. See this position. Jarl himself having a good slide on the S's. Right, round 4. After the previous couple of wet rounds, it was almost like driving a much faster car again. Dry, hot, Calpo. This is actually track 1, which is the short track, so it doesn't have the long straights, and the MX5 loves it. Doesn't have the top speed of the other cars, but acceleration wise it does very well. So yeah, we had a really good time at this one. This particular round I had both races because Jarl had just had a baby, so. And again, MR2s. Had a really good time with this grey MR2 in front of me. And Hunky-dory. Race 2, round 4, will be known as a bit of a contentious one for most people. Keep your eye on number 232 there. It's later in the race. Ploughed into the side of the same MR2 which I was racing with in the first race, and caused a whole bunch of havoc. Yeah, again, this is the second race is always a reverse grid, so this is a reverse grid race. Keep your eye on the centre of your screen. That 232 ploughs into the side of the grey MR2 and sent a whole bunch of stuff on the track. But all of the faster cars coming through, being a reverse grid race, are all bunched up now. So leading into the very tight chicane section, you'll see we get shunted twice from behind, and then there's a guy coming up from the left, and there's just not enough space. Got a guy on the left, guy on the right, and then just plough straight into our door on the left hand side. So unfortunately we did get some panel damage. There was, after this particular round, I think there was about 4 or 5 guys got penalised for over aggressive driving, which is a bit of a pity. It was the one round where there was problems. Round 5, back to being wet again. Back at Taupo again. This is actually Taupo track 1, which has got the long straights in it. And visibility was nigh on 0 for most of the race, which made it quite interesting. Definitely needed a change of pants afterwards. But this particular race will be well known or well remembered by us for just watching number 20 have a blast. They overtook us 2 or 3 times and then wiped out 2 or 3 times as well. They were all over the track. I managed to have a bit of a moment myself, going about 120 k's sideways. Just managed to hold on to it. Unfortunately, that's quite an important part of the track, and with that loss of speed, lost quite a few positions. Number 20 again. And this gives you an indication of what the visibility was like down the straights. Yeah, it's pretty poor, but it made it interesting. And when you're only going 130 k's an hour, it doesn't really matter. And here again, coming in, this is really interesting hairpin corner. It's a tricky corner to get right, and as you can tell, when you get it wrong, you can get it all sorts of wrong. So that was me nearly ploughing into the back of number 20 there. Luckily he managed to overshoot again late that same lap, so visiting the rough stuff on the outside of the track again. Oh, and of course, because it was wet, we were able to practice our skiddies after the race as well. We're still not very good at it, but it's a lot of fun. One of the joys of having a soft top car, you get a little bit wet when you're racing. Righto, Giles race, race 2. So this is again a reverse grid race. Going into the first corner, this time around he's on the outside, 3 wide. Giles did fantastically for most of this race. He managed to keep right at the front end of the field. You can see there, one of the Lantis is having a bit of a delve into the mud. Did really well to recover this actually. Like I was saying, Joel had a really great race for most of it, and then he got bored. So started to get the tail out a bit happier. Which worked fine the first time around, but unfortunately, the second time round he cocked it up a little bit. And to add insult to injury, stalled the engine. Oh, another car going off on that particular corner. And after race skiddies again. It's probably not surprising we've done the viscous LSD in now. We really need to swap that over to get racing again, but at the moment it's open. Right, round 6. This is an endurance race. So the grid positions were based on points through the season, and it was 1 hour race with a driver change in the middle. So started off extremely well. First couple of laps actually managed to do some overtaking, which was nice. Really close racing. Actually, the whole season we've had some really close racing. Most of the rounds, it's been fantastic. Again, we had the faster guys coming through, overtaking us. It was a reverse grid race based on the points. So, generally speaking, the faster guys started at the back of the field, and they filtered their way through as the race progressed. But we still caught up to a few of the slower guys, so that was good. Using all the track when needed. Often with the faster guys coming through the field, we were able to use them to lead a path through the slower traffic like us. Often the slower car would be blocking the corner or defending the corner, and we were able to take advantage of that and play the cars as they came through. So halfway through the race, I came into the pits and swapped over with Zhao, adhering strictly to the 40km/h limit, of course. And he was straight back out into it. Although I think he was more ready than the car was, as he found the grass a couple of times on the first couple of laps. But he very quickly found the swing of things again and straight back into the pretty serious racing. There's a great photo of this lockup, which we used as our YouTube homepage photo. And also he got the pass, which was great. Double bonus. There were still some pretty epic battles to be had for Zhao, in particular this black Toyota, and Zhao had a pretty good fight for 10 minutes, which made for excellent racing. Two very different cars, but quite close in their abilities. Unfortunately, the black Toyota actually managed to get past us in one of those manoeuvres that I was referring to earlier, where you overtake a slower car and open the door to the car behind you. In this case, it was a bit of not a lot of racing room left there, and Zhao was forced onto the grass on the outside, and the black Toyota was able to get past during that manoeuvre, and unfortunately from there led until the finish.
So the end result for the season is that we came away with both the 1600cc class championship and also the Hairdressers Cup for the fastest two-door sports car. We'd like to thank all of our sponsors, in particular Garmin and Wins, but also Bridgestone and all the organisers for the 2K Cup. Thanks a lot, guys.